What is going on, everybody? It's the Frost, and we're here for AEW on TNT review for September the 2nd, 2020. We were 3 days away from the most anticipated pay-per-view of the summer, AEW All Out, where John Moxley put the title on the line against MJF. We have a mimosa mayhem match with Chris Jericho and Orange Cassidy and so much more. But before we get to that, we have to get through this show. AEW just always giving you some good wrestling. There's only one thing, a downside to this show, and we'll talk about that here in a bit. But we open the show. Excalibur is back. He, of course, made his return on AEW Dark this week. He has been out off of TV for about a month because of video of him and Kevin Owens saying the N-word back in the early 2000s. They just wanted to, heed any problems they could have possibly had when it came to Excalibur. I guess it was the right thing for them to do. Nothing else came of it, and Excalibur is back, finally. Now, Jericho last week did a hell of a job. Having Taz do it the week before, and the week before that was fine too. It's just, nothing can replace Excalibur. He was the quintessential piece to AEW's commentary team. He holds it down. He gets these guys through it. And here we are now with him being back. And it's AEW's commentary team back to where it was before. So we start off with Santana and Ortiz versus the Best Friends. This match comes from a couple weeks ago when Santana and Ortiz faced off against the Best Friends. After the Best Friends got they took, I think it was Chuck E. T's mom or one of their moms' car rode their mom's vehicle to the arena, and then Santana Ortiz destroyed it. Absolutely destroyed it. Then, of course, I think it was last week or the week before, week before that, Santana Ortiz took the gear of Best Friends, threw it into the bathtub, well, not the bathtub, but the shower area, threw bleach all over it and just ran the water, which I'm telling you probably destroyed all that gear. But here tonight, we have Santana and Ortiz taking on the Best Friends. Santana and Ortiz make their way into the ring side area. Best Friends attack them from behind. These two pairs brawl. This match has not started yet. This match is a normal 20-minute singles match, tag team match. Ortiz chokes Trent at ringside while Taylor sets up a bunch of chairs. He's finally done building up his pyramid near the ring stage area. Then Santana, he goes back up to get Santana and throw him through the through the chairs. That backfires as Santana throws him over top and him through the stairs and through the chairs, and he is done. He really doesn't get into this match at all. It is pretty much Trent versus Pride and Power for the entire time. Trent and Santana finally get into the ring and the match starts. Trent with a standing double knee on his opponent. He fights and gets his ass kicked. He gets some move in. Now, Chuck does get into the match for a second as he helps stop the street sweeper originally. He ends up getting thrown back down again. And it all leads to the street sweeper. Taylor gets rid of Santana. Trent counters and places Ortiz into the mat. Goes for the pin. Santana puts Ortiz's hand on the rope. And wow, this looked pretty bad though, because they went for the street sweeper and Santana got hit with the Storm Zero, whatever they call that move. And the way he pulled Santana Ortiz over, he made it really obvious that his partner Santana was gonna get his hand or something and put it in the ropes. This sequence looked really bad. Taylor gets thrown into the crowd. Santana grabs a steel baton from under the ring, grabs it, opens it up, with the referee distracted, hits Trent in the back. Street sweeper, 1, 2, 3. That is that. The Santana and Ortiz, Pride and Powerful, win the match. Now, so that match is over with. Is this the end of the feud? I highly doubt it. With Santana and Ortiz winning this match by disqualification, I'm sure we'll see another match between these two. Well, not by disqualification, but by dirty tactics. I'm sure we'll see another match between. And there's an ambulance going on or something outside. Holy shit. But there will be another match probably down the line. It will not be happening at All Out. We'll have to just wait to see what they do. Maybe it leads to a match on the buy-in or something at the next pay-per-view in November. Now, MJF is backstage. He's cutting the promo. He says one way All Out is ending with him winning the title. Lee comes over and tells MJF his lawyer has locked himself in the room so he doesn't have to fight Jon Moxley. They walk over to the door and he's like, hey little buddy, I know, like, and he's like, if you just give me a few more minutes, I'll have a way out of this, because on page 17, and then all of a sudden, Wardlow kicks the door in. He's like, hey Wardlow, what's up? And then he pulls him out. He is not happy. MJF says he understands Sterling is afraid of Moxley, but there's nothing scarier than getting in front of MJF's goals. Bad things happen. He says there are two options for him to get into the ring tonight or get into a wood chipper. Which one do you want? So, yes, that is that. Young Bucks and Jurassic Express versus Private Party and SCU. The winners of this match will face each other in a tag team affair at the pay-per-view. So a lot riding on the line. Who's going to have a pay-per-view paycheck? Who's going to be sitting on the sidelines in the crowd at the pay-per-view? So the story of this match is that the Young Bucks come down after we come back from commercial break. They are not in their joyous, happy selves. They don't even they come out. The music plays. The Young Bucks dollars go off. No posing, no nothing. They're in the ring immediately, wanting to just get this match over with and get to All Out. They want to win it and be done. So I'd say 80% of this match, Matt and Nick are just tagging each other in. They're not even caring about the Jurassic Express. Tags back and forth. They just keep tagging each other in and out through this entire match for the majority of this match. Then when Christopher Daniels shoves both Young Bucks into each other, they finally tag in Jungle Boy so he can go batshit crazy on the other teams. So Luchasaurus finally gets in. He finally gets in, and then eventually he goes to go for a chokeslam finish. Matt tags in. I think it was Matt tags in. Hold on. You had a shooting star press, best moonsault ever by Daniels, shooting star press by Quinn, cover, and Luchasaurus breaks it up. Luchasaurus with a spinning kick on Daniels, headbutt to Quinn. Matt tags himself in as Luchasaurus was going for a finish. He then takes out some of the other teams by hitting a spinning kick onto Christopher Daniels and a couple others. BTE trigger on Quinn by Matt and Nick, cover, and that is it. The Young Bucks will now take on Jurassic Express at the pay-per-view. Should be a hell of a match. This was actually, I get tired of seeing 8-man tag team matches. 6-man, 10-man, 12-man, 20-man, whatever they want to go with. I don't want to see those. They are clusterfucks. This was not one of them. This was actually a really good match. Well paced. The spots were when it needed to be. And this was just great. So we will have Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy versus the Young Bucks at the pay-per-view. Should be a hell of a match. When they made this match last week and told us what was going to happen, I was like, there's no way with the Young Bucks losing last week in the second match of that gauntlet of sorts, there's no way you're going to have All Out have happen without Young Bucks on the card. Just no way. So I figured they were going to win this match. They are still pissed off for what happened with Adam Hangman Page. And that is why you had what you had tonight. They were just, let's get this over with. Let's beat these other guys down. We don't want any screw-ups. We're going to make sure we win. I don't, fuck the Jurassic Express. But in the end, they do work well. We actually had a double risky business by these two teams. You had Jungle Boy and I think Matt and Nick and Luchasaurus. I might be confused on those. But yeah, double risky business, which was pretty good. Backstage, Jake Hager goes in to find Orange Cassidy. Tells him that Jericho wants him at ringside tonight in his match against Joey Janella. Cassidy puts his foot over Hager's leg. Hager smacks it away. says it'll be smart of him to be there, and he leaves. So, what is that going to do? What are we going to see later on? We'll talk about that. Tully Blanchard talks with FTR about following the path to the tag titles. They needed to win the gauntlet last week to get to the title match. They did that part of the mission. They finished that goal. Now, they have to go to this match and win. They're not just the Hangman Page and Kenny Omega are not just going to hand them the championships. They have to go there and take them. Wheeler calls the match the most important match of their careers. Nothing matters if they don't get the tag titles. Their legacy is dead. Everything they did before this does not matter, which is a huge shot at WWE because, honestly, yeah, outside of NXT, they didn't really do anything special on the main roster. So I can see where they're taking their digs slightly, subtly, but they are taking their digs at WWE. AEW World Tag Team Champion Kenny Omega heads out to the ring to talk with Tony Schiavone wearing a shirt, a tribute to Hana Kimura, which is you can find at Pro Wrestling Tees. All the proceeds apparently go to Hana Kimura's mom and family, so go check out. I'm pretty sure you can just go to Pro Wrestling Tees and type in Hana Kimura and the shirt will come up. I believe they showed two, which was one is in white and one was in a black shirt. So there you go. Tony notes how Paige isn't by Omega's side this week, then brings up what happened last week with Paige and the Young Bucks. Matt and Nick threw Paige out of the Elite. Omega says everyone makes mistakes, and Hangman Page is going to have to live with this the rest of his life. But on Saturday, they will work together against FTR just like every other match, and they will win. FTR walk out with a cooler, and they say they have no problem with Omega. They've never had any problems with Omega. They just want to have a great match. How about a cheers? They give him some chocolate milk, and of course, he says he can't say no to some chocolate, in which he does say that what I can turn down and what I am going to get away from is having to deal with two dickheads like you. Omega says there's been nothing more he liked than chocolate milk, but he's not going to spend time around some dickheads. Omega says they can drop the act and let's get this get to the brawl. They have another match to get to. He tells Tully to stay back. He can smell the pens from here. They said Paige is nothing but Paige does come down before all this happens. And they said Paige is nothing but a little boy and he got into his own head. We didn't tell you to attack the Young Bucks. You did it yourself. Kenny, you've known this guy for 4 or 5 years. I've known him for his entire career. And he's been nothing but an egotistical, selfish son of a bitch who gets in his own head, and he's just talking shit all on Hangman Page. And they hand over the title. They drops the titles and wants to fight these two, but Omega's like, come on, dude, what are you doing? You're trying to get in your head again. Don't let him get in your head. FTR, in the meantime, grab the tag team titles and are holding them. Paige wants the titles, so they drop them, and they leave. Kenny Omega, Paige grabs both titles. He goes to hand Kenny Omega the other championship, but Kenny Omega's not in the ring. Kenny Omega's standing at ringside, just waiting for him to do something. And we'll see what happens. I'm telling you, and we'll talk about that after this review's over. I do have my thoughts on who's going to win what match and how everything's going to go all out at the end of this review here. Alex Marvez speaks with Chris Jericho about his upcoming all-out match. Jericho says fans are going to get experience the combination of Jericho versus Cassidy, and they will find out who is the better man. Jericho says he's the one who made Cassidy a main event star, but that's why he needs to put a bullet in Cassidy's head and show him that he's not the same level of Jericho. He's going to end Cassidy's dream with a little bit of the bubbly. For Joey Janella, things are going to get a whole lot worse as Jericho looks to show Cassidy a taste of what he has in store for him. He does make fun of Alex Marvez, of course, and say, hope you enjoy. Good luck on getting that first kiss, man. Chris Jericho with Jake Hager versus Joey Janela. This is a match that is happening just to give, I guess, Jericho a tune-up. Basically, Orange Cassidy comes out, through the crowd, holding this black bag. No one knows what's in the black bag but Orange Cassidy. He strolls down out of the tunnel, sits down at ringside on hard camera side. Then Jericho is also wearing a Orange Cassidy t-shirt to, mock Orange Cassidy. So this match was a one-sided beatdown. Joey Janella got almost no offense in, if any at all. And Jericho won with the Walls of Jericho. After the match, though, Jericho punches away on Janella. He rips the turnbuckle pad off, tosses Janella into it. Hager has a good laugh at this. Jericho busted up Janella open. He then puts some of the blood on Cassidy's shirt. Taunts Cassidy at ringside, rips the thing, throws it at Cassidy, wants him to get into the ring. He gets in the ring. They have fights. Hager gets in. He stops that, but out comes Sonny Kiss to lay out Chris Jericho for a minute. He pays from Jake Hager. Then Orange Cassidy in the distraction shoves Jake Hager out of the ring into the barricade. Those two go back to brawling. Cassidy looking for a Superman punch, but Hager gets Jericho out of the ring. Cassidy then pulls out of the bag his glasses, puts them on, and then has a little bit of the bubbly. Opens it up, holds it up, dumps it down, and with his other hand puts the thumbs down as well. So that is your setup for this coming Saturday, the Mimosa Mayhem match, which I don't really know how I feel about that match. We'll talk about that later. Recap of the rivalry between Sammy Guevara and Matt Hardy. They will meet in the Broken Rules match, a.k.a. a Last Man Standing match, which we'll talk about that later. Guevara makes his way out to the ring, does his cue card shtick. Hardy is also looking on from the stands. Hardy has his own cue cards. Sammy finally sees him, and the two jaw at each other and yell and scream and whatever else. FTW champion Brian Cage has an absolute. So you have them come out. They're arguing back and forth. Eddie Kingston comes out with his dudes. He tries to talk. And we just have ourselves a huge brawl between these guys. Darby Allin, Billy Gunn gets involved. The Inner Circle gets involved. Pretty much everybody we're going to see inside the Battle Royal gets involved. I don't think we're going to see any. We will probably see some kind of surprise or something. Maybe an NWA talent being into this. There was a lot more than 20 people getting into this. Why we needed a dry run? This was the down part of the show. We did not need a dry run of what is going to happen on Saturday in the Battle Royal. We didn't. But for some reason, WWE decided. Not WWE. AEW decided. What the fuck is going on tonight? Like, holy shit. It's got to be goddamn. But we did not need all of this. So, we go to commercial break, we come back, and we still having people fight in the ring. So eventually they go to a Dark Order hype vignette clip of a TNT champion Brody Lee destroying Cody. Said you created the monster, now the monster is taking over AEW. We see Dark Order taking down the Nightmare Family. Dustin said it is uncalled for what they did, and they will pay. So Dark Order will take on Matt Cardona, Scorpius Sky, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall at All Out. So, yeah, we had a dry run of the Battle Royal, which we didn't need. And then we find out we're going to have this match going on. I'll get my thoughts on all that here in a bit. And in NWA Women's Champion Thunder Rosa versus Serena Deeb, who was last seen in WWE during the Mae Young Classic. She has been working as a coach at NXT, but apparently they fired her when they did on Black Wednesday, which absolutely sucks for everybody who got fired, especially since WWE didn't need to. No entrance for Deeb, who of course is the jobber in this match. This was a really good match. Thunder Rosa gave a lot to Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb and Thunder Rosa went out there and showed you that this is I'm hoping, because yes, Thunder Rosa won this match. Of course she did. She wasn't going to lose going into All Out. I'm hoping with Thunder Rosa making her presence on AEW television, NWA really not doing anything else, because they're not doing taping in Georgia. They're not doing anything. I'm hoping that when push comes to shove, we'll see like a Nick Aldis show up. Maybe the tag team champions show up. Maybe anybody else that they could have show up. It would be great because let's think. Eddie Kingston, Colt Cabana, Ricky Starks, all were in the NWA when AEW started, and now all three of those men are in NWA or in AEW now, and the NWA Women's Champion is in AEW right now. I'm just hoping this isn't going to be Saturday's not going to be the last time we see NWA and AEW interaction between each other. Backstage, AEW Champion Jon Moxley says MJF climbed the rankings, and Saturday night he gets his shot. MJF, he shouldn't sweat of anything. The campaign, lawyers, media, when the bell rings, all that goes away. And just comes down to MJF being willing to kill or be killed. 2020 has been bad enough already, and we can't let MJF's dumbass be AEW champion. Everything MJF has done thus far has just been the easy stuff. Then we go to Big Swole as we come back to a commercial. And on Saturday night, at the All-In Buy-In, Swole is going to show up at Britt Baker's job where they'll be fighting. So, the name of their match is going to be Tooth and Nail. Why? We have the Mimosa Mayhem match. We have the Broken Rules match, which is just a last man standing match. And now we have the Tooth and Nail match. AEW relying a little bit on gimmicks, don't you think? Gimmick matches. It's just, All of a sudden, we see Rebel with a mask on, with a hat on, to try and hide herself, show up with a pizza box. I'm thinking, there's no pizza in there. It's going to be something stupid, like it's going to be dumb and something. She's going to have maybe like a heavy piece of metal in there that's going to be used to smack Big Swole on the back. No, there's an actual pizza in there. What did they do with that pizza? Well, Britt Baker, who is up and able to walk now, so she is 100% cleared, attacks with the crutch from behind. Then they open the box. It's got an actual pizza in there, and they shove Big Swole's face into the pizza. How could you be so abusive to pizza? Come on, man. That pizza would have been great for somebody to eat, and you're going to throw somebody's face in there. That's pizza abuse, man. That's pizza abuse. She super kicks her, puts her in the lockjaw. Some officials finally break it up. There will be a tooth and nail match at the pay-per-view. So, yeah. Gimmick matches everywhere. So, Jon Moxley versus Mark Sterling, MJF's lawyer. If he does not actually wrestle in this match, MJF will not be wrestling at All Out. So, MJF's music hits. He's nowhere to be seen, and we see Mark Sterling get thrown through the entrance tunnel, and is wearing a red, white, and blue bodysuit, similar to one Andy Kaufman. Moxley strolls from the side entrance to the ring, jokingly asks for forgiveness for what he's doing to Sterling, or he's about to do to Sterling. Moxley scares his opponent just by yelling at him. Moxley offers Sterling to hit him. He ends up slapping him in the ear, goes out of the ring. Moxley then gives... Honestly, I felt like I've seen the way this match went before. Was this booked like Jerry Lawler and Andy Kaufman? Am I getting something wrong here? So it's just a bunch of goofiness for a while, and then Jon Moxley finally hits the Death Rider, gets the win. Wardlow comes in, he beats up on Jon Moxley. MJF finally comes down with his little stroller thing, throws it away, takes off the neck brace, takes his jacket off, takes his watch off, comes down there, beats the hell out of Jon Moxley over and over again, throws some big punches, kicks to the face, he beats up the champion some more, then yells at the camera, "You want violence? You got it. You got it." He then asks for the AEW Diamond Ring from Wardlow, punches Moxley in the head with it. Moxley is bleeding after that shot. MJF tells Moxley to fight for the fans as he continues to swing away. MJF puts some of Moxley's blood on his face, then takes the title from Wardlow and holds it up. This is the future of the next 25 years, and that is how the show went off the air. Good show, other than the battle, and other than the dry run for the Battle Royal, which was absolutely atrocious. I don't know why they needed to resort to that, but it is what they do. Now, Let's start with the AEW All Out predictions. We start with the tooth and nail match, Big Swole versus Britt Baker. This, of course, I don't know what the fuck they're actually going to be doing. Is it a street fight in Britt Baker's office? Something like that. Good fucking grief. I'm going with Britt Baker. There's no reason to have her not win her return match if they want to push her as much as they want. Britt Baker is winning this. Broken Rules match, Matt Hardy versus Sammy Guevara. If Hardy loses, he leaves AEW. Obviously, Matt Hardy is winning this. Why would you put that stipulation? Why would you put that stipulation for anyone to expect them to actually see Matt Hardy lose? Who knows? Maybe Matt Hardy does lose, but he comes back as a masked wrestler who haunts Sammy Guevara. But I'm saying Matt Hardy wins. Is this feud going to be over with? Maybe, possibly. Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks versus Jurassic Express of Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy tag team match. I'm going with the Young Bucks. The Young Bucks. You know what? I'm going to change that now. I'm going with the Jurassic Express. I think the Young Bucks are starting to crack a little bit after what happened with Hangman Page last week, and this might be something. Them losing to the Jurassic Express could push them over the edge and turn them heel. Maybe the entire Elite's going heel. Who knows? Maybe the entire Elite's going heel. Dark Order. Brody Lee, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, and Stu Grayson versus Matt Cardona, Scorpio Sky, The Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. 8-man tag team match. Dark Order's winning this. There's no reason for the Dark Order not to win this match. Why would you have a bunch of hooligans? Why would you have a thrown together team with the Natural Nightmares, Matt Cardona, and Scorpio Sky beat the recently reinvigorated Dark Order? Nah, you had the Dark Order win this one. Casino Battle Royal 21-man. Right now we know of Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Pentagon Jr., Ray Phoenix, The Butcher, The Blade, Eddie Kingston, Shawn Spears, Billy, Austin Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Chuck Taylor, and Trent. So that is a good bit, but that's not everybody. Winner receives a future AEW championship opportunity. This match, I have no idea who's going to win this. I don't think it's going to be Brian Cage. I don't think it's going to be Lance Archer. I believe those two are going to cost each other the match. Same thing with Darby Allin and Ricky Starks. Those two are going to cost each other the match. And those are going to lead to 2 singles matches between those 4 gentlemen. If I had to throw one out there, I'm going to have to say A, Pentagon Jr., or B, Ray Phoenix. I think either one of those two would be a great win for whoever is the AEW champion coming out of the match later. But I believe the winner of this match will tell you who's winning the world title match at the end of the night. If it's Ray Phoenix or Pentagon Jr., Jon Moxley wins. If it's any babyface who wins this match, then it's MJF winning, no doubt about it. But I'm just saying it could be one of those two. If I had to go with a babyface, I don't know. I'm going to say whoever, if it's not Pentagon or Ray Phoenix, it's going to be somebody who's not been announced for the match yet. That's my thoughts on that. Hikaru Shida versus Thunder Rosa, AEW Women's Championship. Hikaru Shida's winning. Now, this is another one of those telling ones. If Thunder Rosa somehow, someway wins the AEW Women's Championship while being the NWA Women's Champion, then there's no doubt in my mind that the NWA AEW deal is not going to be over by a long shot. So, I'm going to say Hikaru Shida for sure. I don't think they're actually going to give Thunder Rosa the chance to win the championship. It should be a hell of a match. But I think it's going to be Thunder Rosa losing this one in a hard-fought match. FTR versus Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page for the AEW World Tag Team titles. This one is a no-brainer to me. This one's going to FTR. I've said it before, I'll say it again, and it just seems to be more confirmation for this show, after tonight's show. Hangman Page, it's gonna wrestle like a normal match for a good bit, and then there's gonna come to a time when Hangman Page is on the outside, and Kenny Omega goes for the tag. Hangman jumps down, walks away, and Kenny Omega gets up, is wondering, what the fuck's going on? Why are you walking away? Get back here. We need to do this. Turns around. Goodnight Express. 1, 2, 3. New tag team champions. No doubt in my mind. Where do we go from here? Well, I think this is going to be the combination of the Four Horsemen that people are talking about. I don't think you should ever give it that name. It's like, if you're going to do a Four Horsemen type thing, you need to go with something else. Give it a different name. But I'm saying we're going to have new tag team champions coming out of the pay-per-view. Orange Cassidy versus Chris Jericho in a Mimosa Mayhem match can be won by pinfall, submission, or throwing an opponent into a tank of mimosa. Now, why would you have it be the winners can win by pinfall to submission if you're going to have this vat of a mimosa? I say Jericho is going to lose. He is going to get beat by being thrown into the vat of mimosa. What does that mean for anything? I don't know. I don't know where they go from here. All I know is that's where we're going to go. With Jericho losing and Orange Cassidy winning because Jericho was thrown into the mimosa, and the last thing we're going to see is Jericho struggling to swim inside this vat of mimosa before long. And that leaves us with the AEW World Championship match, MJF versus Jon Moxley. The paradigm shift is banned from the match. But as we know from the Double or Nothing match between him and Brody Lee, he has more than just a paradigm shift as a way to finish somebody off. This one's really tough. On the one hand, you have MJF, who has been the best heel they have had in a long while. On the other hand, you have Jon Moxley, who has, unfortunately because of COVID, really hasn't had the spectacular title reign we all hoped he would have. I mean, he's had a really good title reign. Do they want to end his title reign right now? This one's a real toss-up for me. Because MJF is 100% undefeated in singles competitions. He only has a loss because of Wardlow getting beat in a tag match. But it's like I'm just sitting here racking my brain. Who's going to win this match? This match can literally go either way. And like I said earlier, if it's Pentagon or Phoenix winning the Battle Royal, then it's going to be Jon Moxley winning this match. Pentagon or Phoenix versus Jon Moxley is a much bigger money match than having MJF versus one of those two. If it's like a babyface and someone that can easily feed off of MJF as a babyface, then I'm going to say MJF would win. But this one's a toss-up, like I said, and it's really hard to figure out what's going to happen. I'm going to sit there and have to say that it's going to be Jon Moxley winning this match, and that's going to lead, and it's going to be because Wardlow fucked up, and MJF is going to, Wardlow's going to turn on MJF after everything goes down, because after the match is over, Wardlow's going to be in the ring. MJF is yelling at him, bitching at him. How could you do this? This was my opportunity. He slaps Wardlow. Wardlow comes back, lays him out, hits the F10, and then we go from there with Wardlow versus MJF into the future. But let's see here. Again, that is Britt Baker over Big Swole, Matt Hardy over Sammy Guevara, the Young Bucks, Jurassic Express over the Young Bucks. Dark Order will win their 8-man tag match. I'm saying either Phoenix or Pentagon or a babyface wins the 20-man Battle Royal. Sheeta over Thunder Rosa. FTR over Kenny Omega and Adam Hangman Page. Orange Cassidy over Chris Jericho. And Jon Moxley over MJF. That is your AEW review and AEW All Out review and predictions. Hit that subscribe button, comment down below, like or dislike this video. Find me on Twitter at The France Club. Find me on twitch.tv/The France Club. And I will see you guys Friday